kick off this deep dive, and today we're taking a look at AI inference. We've got some pretty interesting stuff to cover, and I'm really glad to have our expert here to break it all down. We're going way beyond ChatGPT today. You ready to jump in?
Absolutely. I think it's amazing how we're seeing AI inference pop up everywhere.
Yeah, definitely. And we've got a great article from IBM as a starting point, right?
That's right. They actually define AI inference as the ability of a trained AI, to use what it's learned to then make decisions from new data it sees. It's kind of like how we use what we know to figure stuff out in our own lives.
Yeah, okay, I see that. But then, so how's that different from machine learning? Those two seem to get mixed up a lot.
Yeah, you're right, they do. But, they are connected, but they're not the same thing. Think of it this way. Machine learning is like going to school, soaking up all that info.
Right. Got to learn the basics first.
Exactly. AI inference is then taking what you learned and using it, like at a job to actually get things done.
Okay, so machine learning is the student. AI inference is out there working in the real world. Got it. Now, the IBM article, it highlights some really awesome benefits of AI inference. What really jumps out at you?
The precision, honestly, it's getting crazy good. Like, some AIs can copy writing styles so well you'd swear it was the real author.
Whoa, that's kind of freaky, right? But also imagine what that could do, I don't know, in schools or like for anyone making content, right?
Yeah, the possibilities are pretty mind-blowing. And that's just one example. Think about things like quality control, especially in agriculture.
Okay, what do you mean?
Imagine an AI looking at crops, and it can spot diseases or problems way before a human could.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I never thought of it that way. That could be huge for, like, food production or sustainability.
Absolutely. AI inference is solving real problems right now. It's not just sci-fi anymore.
Totally. The article also talks about directionless learning. Did I get that right? What's that all about?
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
So some AIs can actually learn from data even without someone telling them exactly what to look for. Imagine it's observing a farm, right?
Yeah, picturing it.
Over time, it picks up these subtle patterns in the plants, the soil, and it can spot issues before they become huge problems, all on its own.
Wow. That's almost like it's developing its own intuition based on what it's seeing.
Yeah, it really is a big leap forward.
So the IBM article, it mentions edge computing too. Where does that fit into all this?
Edge computing is key when you need AI to make decisions super fast, right on the spot. Instead of sending data off to some server, the AI does the thinking right there.
Makes sense, like so it can react instantly, right?
Exactly. Think about a self-driving car. It needs to dodge something suddenly. It can't wait for a signal to go back and forth.
So edge computing is like putting the AI's brain right there in the action.
Yeah.
Gotcha. But with all this potential AI inference, it's got to have some downsides too, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like with any powerful tool, we got to be careful. One thing that's tricky is, well, the rules around AI are still being figured out.
Ah, so it's kind of like we've got this amazing gadget, but no instruction manual.
Kind of, yeah. And another big thing is the data itself. The AI is only as good as what it learns from, right? So bad data, that means bad decisions, even if the tech is amazing.
So garbage in, garbage out, but with really high stakes this time.
You got it.
Then how do we make sure the AI is getting the right info to begin with?
Well, first you got to make sure the data is clean, no mistakes or missing stuff. And you got to think about bias too. Like if the data itself is skewed, the AI will learn those biases. We need to make sure the AI is learning from a good mix of information.
That's a good point, yeah. It's not just the technology, it's how we use it too.
Yeah.
The article also pointed out something interesting about the hardware, like the chips that AI needs. They're mostly made in one place, right?
Right. They highlighted Taiwan. They're kind of the main hub for these special AI chips, which, on one hand, it means they're really good at it.
Yeah, but on the other,
it could be risky. Like, if something disrupts that supply chain, the whole AI world could feel it.
That's a good point. Shows how important it is to, I don't know, have backup plans, make sure we're not relying on just one spot. Okay, so we've talked about what AI inference can do, good and bad, but how does it actually work? The article mentions 5 steps, starting with data prep. So it's like a recipe, you need the right ingredients.
Exactly. You can't make a good AI without good data. That means gathering the right info, cleaning it up, making sure it's all organized.
So data prep is step 1, setting the stage. What's next?
Picking the right AI model. There are tons of different models out there, and they're all good at different things.
So you got to pick the right tool for the job.
Yep. Some are great with language, others are better with images. You got to match it to what you're trying to do.
Okay, so we've got our ingredients, we've picked our recipe, what then?
Time to train the model. This is where it actually starts to learn. We feed it all that data, let it analyze it, and it starts tweaking itself to get better at making predictions.
It's like the AI is going to school now, really learning its stuff.
Exactly. But we can't just let it loose after school, right? We got to make sure it learned the right lessons. So step 4 is all about checking the AI's work.
Oh, so like grading its homework.
Pretty much. We look for any signs of bias, any mistakes, anything that shows it's not making good decisions.
Right, can't let it graduate if it's still making those rookie errors.
Exactly. Once we're confident it's ready, then it's time for deployment, step 5. This is where we put the AI to work, in a chatbot or a system that detects fraud, whatever it's trained for.
Graduation day. The AI is out there in the world using its skills. Now, I remember earlier you mentioned different types of AI inference. Tell me more about those.
Oh yeah, the article talked about dynamic inference, batch inference, and streaming inference. Dynamic inference, that's all about speed. Like, think about those chatbots that pop up on websites.
Okay, yeah, they got to give you an answer right away.
Exactly. Dynamic inference is how they do that, instant responses.
So like having an AI assistant right there, ready to go. Cool. What about the others?
Batch inference, that's more like it's steady and reliable, but not super speedy. Good for things that don't need an instant answer.
Like what kind of things?
Maybe a company analyzing customer data to figure out trends and target their marketing. It can take its time, work in the background.
Got it. So it's like the behind-the-scenes worker bee crunching numbers and giving us insights.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And then there's streaming inference. This one's like having an AI constantly watching a flow of data and making decisions in real time.
So always learning, always adjusting.
Yep, perfect for things like maybe monitoring sensors in a power plant. It needs to spot problems and react instantly to avoid a blackout.
Man, that's some serious stuff. So we've got these 3 different flavors of AI inference, each with its own specialty.
Exactly. And as AI gets more advanced, I'm sure we'll see even more variations pop up. It's an exciting time to be watching this field.
Yeah, no doubt. We've covered a lot of ground here, from the basics of AI inference to how it's actually used, and even the challenges we got to be aware of.
Definitely a lot to unpack, but it's important stuff. This technology is already shaping our world in big ways, and it's only going to get more influential.
Absolutely. And that's why we're diving deep into it, trying to understand not just the how, but the why and the what next.
Exactly. Because AI inference, it's not just about the tech itself, it's about how we use it, how it impacts our lives, and what kind of future we're building with it.
Yeah, that's the big question, isn't it? And that's something we're going to keep exploring as we go deeper into this topic. Okay, so we've talked about the power and potential of AI inference, but I want to know more about like the actual tech behind it. The article mentioned something called AI accelerators. What are those all about?
So AI accelerators, those are like special hardware pieces, and they're designed to make AI tasks run way faster.
Oh, okay. So they're like giving the AI a speed boost.
Yeah, exactly. Like adding a turbocharger to your AI engine.
Gotcha. So what kind of AI accelerators are out there?
Well, you've probably heard of GPUs, right? Graphics processing units. Those were originally for like video games and stuff, making the graphics look awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
But they're also really good at handling a ton of calculations at the same time, which is perfect for AI. They can process massive amounts of data super fast.
So GPUs are like the heavy lifters, the workhorses of AI.
Yeah, exactly. But then you've got FPGAs too, field programmable gate arrays.
Whoa, those are some complicated names.
Yeah, I know, right? But basically, FPGAs are chips that you can customize to do specific tasks. So they're really flexible. You can adapt them for all sorts of different AI applications.
So if GPUs are like the strong guys, what are FPGAs like?
Think of them like a Swiss Army knife, you know?
Yeah.
You can use them for all sorts of different things, just got to adjust them for the job.
Okay, that makes sense. GPUs are the power, FPGAs are the multi-tool. What else is there?
Oh, and then there are ASICs, application-specific integrated circuits. Those are chips that are built from scratch for a very specific purpose, like just for deep learning. They're super efficient, but not as flexible as FPGAs.
So ASICs are like the specialists, really good at one thing.
Exactly. And then the thing is, this whole field is constantly evolving. New AI accelerators are being developed all the time, and it's pushing the boundaries of what's possible with AI.
That's really exciting, actually. Okay, let's shift gears a bit and go back to how we actually put AI inference into action. We talked about that 5-step process, right?
Yeah.
Starting with getting the data ready. Can we walk through the rest of those steps again a little more in depth this time?
Sure. So after you've got your data all prepped and ready to go, you got to choose the right AI model. It's like picking the right recipe for what you want to make.
Yeah, you're not going to use a cake recipe to make a pizza.
Exactly. Different AI models are good for different things. Some are great at understanding language, others are better at recognizing images, stuff like that. Picking the right model is super important.
Okay, so like laying the foundation for your AI system, what comes after that?
Then it's training time. This is where the AI actually learns. We feed it the data, and it starts analyzing, figuring out patterns, and adjusting itself to get better at predicting things.
But it's like boot camp for the AI. It's learning all the skills it needs.
Yeah, pretty much. But even after boot camp, you wouldn't just send a soldier straight into battle, right?
Right, got to make sure they're ready.
Exactly. So before we let our AI model loose in the real world, we have to monitor it really carefully, make sure it's making good decisions.
So it's like giving it a test run,
Yeah.
making sure it's not making rookie mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. We look for any biases, any errors, anything that shows it's not quite ready yet. And this often involves human experts too, people who can provide feedback and help tweak the training process.
So it's not just set it and forget it. You got to really keep an eye on it.
Right, it's a continuous process of improvement. And once we're finally confident in the AI, then we can deploy it. That's the last step, putting it to work in a real-world application.
Okay, so it's officially graduated and it's out there in the world. Awesome. Now, about those different types of AI inference, can you give me some examples of how they're used in the real world?
Sure. Let's start with dynamic inference, the one that's all about speed. Think about those chatbots that pop up on websites to help you with customer service.
Yeah, they got to answer you right away or you're going to get impatient.
Exactly. So they use dynamic inference to give you those instant responses.
It's like having an AI assistant on call, ready to help you out. What about batch inference? How's that used?
Batch inference is good for tasks that don't need an immediate response, like analyzing a bunch of data to find trends. Say a company wants to figure out what their customers are buying and target their ads better, they might use batch inference for that.
Oh, okay. So it's like a behind-the-scenes analyst working on big data sets.
Yeah, exactly. It takes its time, crunches the numbers, and gives you insights. And then there's streaming inference, which is used when you need the AI to constantly be analyzing data and making decisions in real time.
Okay, so give me an example of that one.
Imagine a system that's monitoring a power plant using sensors to check for any problems. It needs to be able to analyze that data constantly and react instantly if something goes wrong. That's where streaming inference comes in.
Wow, that's pretty critical.
It is. And those are just a few examples. There are so many ways that these different types of AI inference are being used. And as the technology keeps developing, I'm sure we'll see even more innovative applications.
It's incredible how fast this field is moving. But with all this progress, we got to think about the impact on people too, right? Like we talked about AI potentially automating jobs, but how do we make sure that these advancements benefit everyone?
That's a really important question. It's true that AI will likely change the way we work, and some jobs might be automated. But history shows us that new technologies also create new jobs, even as they replace old ones.
So it's not just a simple equation of AI taking over human jobs.
No, it's more complex than that. I think we need to look at this as an opportunity to rethink what work looks like. AI can handle the repetitive, dangerous, or boring tasks, and that frees up humans to focus on things that require creativity, critical thinking, and those uniquely human skills.
So it's like humans and AI working together, each playing to their strengths.
Exactly. And that's why it's so important to invest in education and retraining, helping people develop the skills they need to thrive in this new world of work.
It's not just about the tech, it's about making sure everyone benefits from it.
Absolutely. The future of work is going to require collaboration and adaptation, but I think it has the potential to be incredibly positive, both for humans and for AI.
I agree. It's a really exciting time to be watching this all unfold. We've covered so much in this deep dive, the basics of AI inference, real-world examples, even the challenges we need to be aware of. Is there anything else we should touch on before we move on?
I think we've covered the key points for now.
Mhm.
But like with any powerful technology, there's always more to explore, and we can definitely dive deeper into some specific aspects in the next part.
Sounds good. I'm really looking forward to continuing our exploration of AI inference in the next segment.
Wow, we've really gone deep on this deep dive, haven't we? From the nuts and bolts of AI inference to all the ways it's being used, even the hardware that makes it all tick.
Yeah, it's been a pretty amazing journey so far, learning how AI models make decisions and seeing how they're changing things in so many fields.
Absolutely. But, as we keep going deeper into this AI world, it's obvious there's more to think about than just the tech side of things.
Right. We can't forget about the big picture, how this technology affects society as a whole. That's just as important as the tech advancements themselves. I agree. And one thing that's been on my mind is, the economic side of it. We talked about AI possibly taking over some jobs, but how can we make sure these changes are good for everybody, not just a select few?
That's the million-dollar question, and it's something a lot of people are trying to figure out, from politicians to economists to the tech folks themselves. One idea is to focus on retraining and upskilling, giving people the tools and knowledge to succeed in a world where AI is doing more and more.
Well, so like empowering people to adapt to the changes instead of being afraid of them.
Exactly. We got to create programs that teach skills that work well with AI. Things like creative thinking, problem solving, those uniquely human things that AI is not so good at least not yet.
It's about finding that balance, seeing where humans excel and where AI excels, and then working together to make things better for everyone.
Right. It's not about replacing humans with machines. It's about using AI to make us better, to help us achieve more. And that takes planning, communication, and a commitment to making sure everyone benefits.
Yeah, it's not a competition, it's a collaboration. Using AI to tackle the big problems, make life better, and open up possibilities we haven't even thought of yet.
Absolutely. That's the real potential of AI, and it's up to us to guide it in the right direction.
Well said. As we wrap up this deep dive, is there one big thing you want our listeners to take away from all this?
AI inference, it's powerful, it's evolving fast, and it's going to reshape our world in ways we're just starting to understand. But the way it impacts us, that's up to us. The choices we make today will shape the future of AI.
So it's a call to action, right? To get involved, have these important conversations, and make sure AI is developed and used in a way that benefits all of humanity.
You got it. We can't just sit back and watch. We got to be proactive, approach AI with responsibility, a thirst for knowledge, and a commitment to making sure it's a force for good.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
This deep dive into AI inference has been eye-opening, to say the least. I've learned so much, and I'm sure our listeners have too.
It's been a pleasure diving deep into this with you. Hopefully this has sparked some curiosity and made everyone want to learn even more.
I'm sure it has. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the world of AI inference. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the ever-changing world of tech.